Cable theft, lack of maintenance, and an ever-increasing demand in supply are said to be some of the key factors behind the frequent blackouts in Johannesburg. Some areas may even face up to 12 hours in the dark, while for others this extends to days when power utility Eskom cuts power in the city. My colleague, eNCA senior reporter Barry Bateman, was out and about checking how this is affecting people and businesses on a daily basis. He's back. He's in the studio with me now. Barry, good afternoon. I mean, you went to, for instance, a suburb like North Riding, which is in the northern part of Johannesburg, there by Randburg, and the surrounding areas, clearly frustrated on the ongoing blackouts. I mean, when you look at the City Power Twitter timeline, North Riding, without fail, every time you see there, you know, I'm just chuckling now because it gets me frustrating. What did the people there tell you?
There's anger, Dan. I mean, that comes through firstly, because with a load shedding schedule between 5 and 7 or 7:30, you're able to plan your life. You're able to do something with that. You can work with it. What's happening in these communities, because of underlying issues, the cable theft, as you touched on, there's faults on the line because of digging that had been done before, and then it rains and it gets wet, it trips. Because of these, load shedding would be supposed to come back, let's say, at 5:30. It comes back for 30 seconds and it goes. And then people will be without power for several hours thereafter. And as it comes back on, well, you're back into another round of load shedding. So it's this constant lack of power that is driving people in the area insane. You cannot believe the frustration. Well, you probably can, because we do have to live through it to some degree ourselves. But just take a listen to these people that I spoke to today.
During the voting weekend, we had no load shedding, so during that time, that's when we took the time to actually get to all the faults that are affecting the North Riding area. And with that, we've done some repairs. We went back into load shedding, unfortunately, which slowed us down a little bit. But as of last night, we are confident that, you know, with the next round of load shedding that's happening.
That's very efficient when we have electricity. When you don't have electricity, it impacts, apart from my working day, it impacts my ability to make a living.
I don't know when it's load shedding. I mean, when we are load shed immediately we don't have power. It ranges from 4 hours to 8 hours to 24 hours. I mean, food messed up.
At this stage, our security is also in danger in the complex. Because of the power surges, we've lost 2 cameras.
Then you have the issue with kids studying. You know, it goes on till late at night, so it's dark. They can't study in the dark. That becomes a problem.
I'm a pensioner. I expect to enjoy my television. I expect to cook our food and have it warm. And right now, we are right down, and we feel sick of what is going on in the country.
We have more periods of off power than on power. And frankly, I've had enough of it. And I think it's time the communities actually started standing together, either by stop paying taxes or demanding that the people who made the obligations to the communities a couple of weeks ago that the situation would be resolved are actually brought to book, fired. Whatever needs to be done needs to be done.
Yeah, Barry, you can pick up the anger and the frustration. I mean, I know many people who live in the North Riding area, and every day, I mean, even when the load shedding period that has been set out for that area of North Riding, depending on the city power city block, is now over. You're supposed to get your power back. The power cut is over. They still don't get enough electricity. I just wonder how the city power authorities are explaining all of this.
Well, Dan, there appears to be light at the end of the tunnel. There is some hope. Earlier today, I was speaking to Noel Masso, who's the regional manager that falls under the Randburg area, North Riding within that area and the surrounding areas. And what he was explaining to me, and remember, this is the 3rd time we've been to North Riding in the last month because of the ongoing issues and promises that they would be addressed, but they simply don't get addressed. What Noel Masso was telling me now is that they appear to have gone over, they've turned, the corner. And it had to do with the fact of the election period where there was no load shedding. They really put in the resources to address all the faults and the backlog of faults that they had and to identify problems and fix them. They got caught unawares by the latest round of load shedding, which is why he says they had this incident last night. There was extended periods up till about 7 o'clock that people weren't without power. But he says now, and he even said it, because I said, are you confident? He says, I am now confident that we will no longer be having these extended blackouts. He says this because of the amount of work that they've put in. They're going even further. On this Friday, they're going to be having a community engagement, getting community leaders, the new elected councillor for the area, to engage on these issues.
So the community of North Riding and the surrounding areas of that Randburg area can expect more engagement from City Power?
Yes.
And they can expect a bit more progress in stable electricity, at least when it's available, when they don't have an Eskom power cut.
You'll still have Eskom load shedding, but it's those extended hours outside of the schedule. They're bringing that to an end.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, Peter. I'm just remembering as well that the South African Human Rights Commission had received complaints from North Riding and their surrounding areas in Randburg to say this needs to be investigated because they feel that it's affecting their rights at some level. We'll have to see how that process as well plays out. Thank you very much, Barry Bateman, for that update.